With the rising of the sun, a new dawn beckons, giving everyone hope for a better tomorrow. One Money Remit brings convenience to your doorstep, connecting the hustlers, providers, long-distance carriers, and loved ones from one part of the city to the most remote parts across Zimbabwe, connecting people and bridging the divide through technology. We are committed to delivering innovative mobile solutions, enabling you to send and collect US dollars anywhere and making sure life goes on through one secure connection, keeping smiles alive and making a difference no matter where you are. With One Money, it's one time.
Coming to you live from our studios in Harare. This is News Blitz on ZTN. I'm Blessing Manazi. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's take a look at our top stories. Family of 6 now needs 78,000 Zimbabwe dollars in a month. Low voter registration worries Chamisa. Father, son drowned trying to rescue goat. And in sport, crossroads for Zim Giants Dynamos. Health experts in Zimbabwe have warned of a possible fifth wave of COVID-19 cases amid an increase in the positivity rate. COVID-19 infections and the increase in recent weeks, with the first week of March recording 3,330 cases, a sharp rise from 1,024 cases recorded in the same period in February. The first week of March recorded 4 deaths compared to 27 recorded in the same period in February. New infections rose to 3,655 in the second week of March, during which 18 deaths were recorded. Zimbabwe Medical Association President Dr. Francis Chirowa urged caution in the wake of the rising cases.
People should not relax at all. People should continue to take all those measures that are aimed at curbing the disease, washing their hands, sanitizing, face masking, and avoiding crowds as much as possible. Only do essential visits. This is still there. We still have COVID. There is even somewhere in the horizon what may be the fifth wave. So let's not relax. This thing is not gone yet.
Community health expert Itai Rusike concurred with Dr. Chirowa.
The ingredients for a COVID-19 fifth wave are currently brewing due to the high level of complacency and non-adherence to public health preventive measures, especially now when majority of the people are no longer wearing their face masks, and also the huge political gatherings that we are witnessing every day are a recipe for disaster.
An urban low-income earning family of 6 in Zimbabwe now needs to spend 2,433 Zimbabwe dollars more in order to sustain its monthly basic needs. According to the Consumer Council of Zimbabwe, CCZ, the country's consumer basket for the month of February went up to 78,191 Zimbabwe dollars, up from 75,757 Zimbabwe dollars in January 2021. The consumer watchdog attributed the increase to a hike in electricity tariffs and incessant power cuts. An increase in fuel prices was also noted, with the Zimbabwe Energy Regulatory Authority effecting 2 price hikes within 5 days. CCZ spokesperson Rose Tikarakara Mpofu speaks to ZTN.
The various regulators are doing in order to cushion consumers. The consumers should, at the end of the day, feel that cushioning. We should really realize the efforts that are being made by government through the various regulators. But if the regulators take advantage of, make efforts, but service providers take advantage and make huge profits for themselves, it will not reflect on the consumer.
Well, what is the consumer's sentiments? Our news crew went on the streets of Harare to find out.
Food basket of Africa, and it. But how come kuti motara kuti mimi flour nehufu nechi zvinonzi zvinokwira muZimbabwe? Saka munondudza kuti hazvinakidze ende hazvifadze zvinhu zvakadaro. As a consumer, there's no way I can be happy because income yangu haina painyaya yawedzera. Obviously, I'm going to be affected. Families are going to be affected. Everyone is going to be affected. So definitely we can't be happy. But at the same time, we can't blame them because if it's beyond their control, there's nothing that they can do.
Kukwira kwemabasic commodities like flour, I think zvinenge zvatangira, like for example, right now fuel yakakwira, margin yazvina yakakwira now, it's very, very big and it's very high. So I think panofanira kugadziriswa ipapo.
Chairperson of the Consumer Protection Commission, Dr. Mthokozi Sinkosi, says regulation and price control in the country is difficult because of the unstable exchange rate.
Do we get involved where prices are going up on a daily basis? In the case of Zimbabwe, it's mainly the exchange rate problem, right? In US dollar terms, it's generally static. Yes, it also worrisome when in US dollar terms we then see that the price is actually repeatedly going up. But it's an exchange rate issue. Question then becomes, what is going on? There are some people who actually profiteer from playing around with the exchange rate. This is why the sector regulator, the RBZ, has been very hard on those unscrupulous businesses.
Now, with a number of areas in the southern parts of Zimbabwe projected to register low harvests due to poor rains during the summer cropping season, a number of individuals are vulnerable to food shortages. In October 2021, the World Food Programme revealed that at least 5 million people in the southern African country were in need of food aid. Earlier today, before the start of the weekly cabinet meeting, Minister of Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare, Professor Paul Mavima, told ZTN that the government has started assisting families in need of food aid.
We are distributing food already in almost all the districts, but we are also doing targeted interventions where we see that people are desperate. For example, we have sent truckloads to Binga. We have also sent to Mutasa and Nyanga just recently. So where we get SOS messages, we send specifically to those areas.
Professor Mavima added that they are waiting for outcome of a crop assessment report in order to establish the total number of people that need assistance.
We will have very specific numbers once crop assessment has been done. Currently, those crop assessments are the Minister of Agriculture. Also do our ZIMVAC for rural areas. We have done the one for urban areas. So we will know. Definitely by April, May, we will know what numbers will be feeding across the country.
Zimbabwe is facing a 60% deficit of early childhood education teachers, mainly due to the country's lack of capacity to train enough educators. These challenges are also prevalent in the whole of the SADC region. Education Ministry representatives from 6 SADC countries are convening in Harare to review the status of early childhood education in the region and discuss strategies for improvement. The plan is to work towards developing a SADC protocol on early childhood education, and the Zimbabwe Secretary for Primary and Secondary Education, Tumisang Tabela, spoke to ZTN.
The furniture, the toilet seats have to be age appropriate. So already you have to come up with total infrastructure just meant for that age. And as I said, because it was introduced midstream, that is still a place that really needs to be invested in. We still have almost 60% kind of shortage, maybe about 40% we have now enrolled, because higher and tertiary education has also been training deliberately more teachers for the infant module. We've also been retraining some teachers who were meant to handle grade 3 to 7.
Education officials from the SADC region concur that more funds should be injected into the early childhood education sector. Malawi's Chief Child Development Officer Pauline Simwaka speaks.
No government in the SADC region is fulfilling its promise on getting 2% of education of the budget allocation. So we want to advocate for that, so that each member of SADC countries should be able to allocate some resources for early childhood development.
Lesotho Basic Education Principal Dira Kama weighed in.
Well, early childhood education is a new kid on the block, in the sense that focus has been more on primary and secondary for a long time. Now, with the studies and research, we have realized that the issue of foundation education is pertinent. So coming here for this particular meeting, we are simply taking advantage of the experiences that we'll gain from other stakeholders, including our other counterparts, and what they can offer, the best practices, and so on and so forth.
Still related to education on the political front, a new political outfit, United Zimbabwe Alliance, has promised free primary school education once it is voted into office. Party leader Elizabeth Valerio promised equal access to resources for both rural and urban pupils. She said this at her party's launch earlier today.
The USA government will provide every primary school student with the same standard of education. We will equip classrooms, no matter where a child lives, with the same standards. Schools in rural areas will be just as good as schools in towns.
We shift to elections. Numbers in the first voter registration exercise have left Citizens Coalition for Change, a CCC, worried as they were low. The Zimbabwe Electoral Commission's preliminary figures show just 76,661 new registrants and 50,486 transfers. CCC Deputy Secretary for Elections Ellen Shiriedenga attributed the low turnout to a shortage of national identification cards.
Yes, we had the first Blitz. It had its own flaws, and the results, the turnout was not so good as anticipated by not just by us as the CCC, but even other stakeholders as well. But then that points out to a lot of issues, lots of problems that need to be rectified. We're talking about, for example, the issuance of ID cards. We have over 2 million young people that are eligible to register as voters, but they do not have identity cards. So this is a problem. What are we saying is the CCC? We are saying ZEC should collaborate with the RRG's office.
Recently, ZEC Deputy Chairperson Commissioner Joyce Kazembe said they expected a huge turnout from young people who recently turned 18. She attributed the low turnout to difficulties in accessing identity documents.
So the outcome, or the people that came, were not as many as we had expected. And noting also the fact that one of our target groups were the youth or the young people that attained the age of 18 after the 2018 elections. And our hope was really to catch this. However, there were challenges in terms of their access to identity documents, which are processed and produced by the Registrar General in the end, we can say by the 27th of February, we had registered 76,661. These were the initial registrants who had come forward for registration.
Now shifting to energy, players in the renewable energy sector have been called upon to scale up climate change mitigation objectives. Resolutions at the COP26 meetings in Glasgow last year emphasized the need for financial institutions to finance energy needs towards net zero. Speaking at Financial Markets Indaba in Harare earlier today, Zimbabwe's Environment, Climate, Tourism and Hospitality Industry Deputy Minister Barbara Rodzi said sustainable climate change adaptation requires concerted efforts from all sectors.
Zimbabwe is suffering because of climate change. We are not an exception. I'm sure you have seen a number of issues that have happened in our country, Cyclone Idai and other cyclones that have affected us badly, meaning that we are not an exception in Africa, and we need to walk the talk and to go with the flow across the globe.
Our correspondent Kudachi Deme is at the Climate Change Adaptation Conference and on standby to give us more.
Yes, afternoon. We are here at the HICC for the conference, which is run quite a number of attendees. And interestingly, today on the panel we had Maxwell Chikumbuto, who's a local inventor who's working on some projects on energy-saving projects. Maxwell, good afternoon and welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much.
Maxwell, probably if you could share with the viewers some of the projects that you've made.
Okay, I represent Scythe Group, which is an innovation company. Our flagship is New and Renewable Energy. We designed a generator that uses a radio frequency, that harnesses a radio frequency, convert it into energy. And apart from that, we took the technology, then we did a vehicle which doesn't need any external charging systems.
So earlier on, I spoke to Victor Utezi, who was with African Transmission Corporation. Hello, Victor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Victor, probably if you could share with us, as a player who's in the energy sector, what are your main concerns coming out from this conference?
Well, our main concerns is that we have got to access foreign currency at a competitive price. Right now, we have closed on our financing for expansion. The allocations are $500,000 a week.
So that's it from here at the conference, and back to you guys in the studio.
Sad news in southern Zimbabwe, where a man and his son drowned while trying to rescue a goat from a deep well. Temba Nyati and Mabuto Sibanda from Makado village in Zimbabwe's Matabeleland North Province met their tragic demise on Monday. According to the police, Nyati noticed that a zinc sheet used to cover the well was missing. He suspected that one of his goats had moved the zinc sheet and fallen into the well. Nyati, with Sibanda's help, prepared a rope and hooks to fish out the animal. Nyati was lowered into the well, but after a while he was heard struggling to breathe before he went quiet. Sibanda followed him down the well in an attempt to rescue him, but met the same fate. The bodies of the two were retrieved from the well by the police sub-aqua unit on the following day. Matabeleland North Provincial Police spokesperson Inspector Glory Banda confirmed the tragic incident to ZTN.
A 48-year-old man who was in the company of his 16-year-old son arrived home from the fields, only to discover that a metal well cover had fallen into the well. The two concluded that a goat had fallen into the well after stepping onto the metal cover. The 48-year-old man got into the well, but shortly thereafter, there were no signs of movement and activity. Suspecting that the man might have drowned, a 42-year-old man from Makondo village in Suza area volunteered to rescue the alleged victim of drowning, but before long, he also got unresponsive.
We head to South Africa in a story stranger than fiction. A suspected robber has been apprehended after he fell asleep in a car that he allegedly broke into on Monday morning in Palm View, KwaZulu-Natal. The man was attempting to steal valuables inside the car when he seemingly decided on a brief shut-eye, which led to his arrest. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said in a video address released early today that the positions of Ukraine and Russia at peace talks were sounding more realistic, but more time was needed. A senior Ukrainian official said yesterday that talks with Russia were very difficult, but there was certain room for compromise, adding that negotiations will continue today. Now, what's happening with the big giants Dynamos? To find out, sports news is coming up next. Sports news on a Wednesday. We start with football. Could this be the moment Dynamos completely turns professional? Everything for now points to that, and one of the founder members, Bernard Marriott, has revealed how they have come up with a structure that safeguards founders' interest. This seems to be preparation for what could be a complete takeover by other investors. Although Marriott has not given away much, it has already been widely reported that businessman Kudata Gwirei could buy the club, and Gwirei has, however, not confirmed or denied any such move. Now we hear Marriott confirming what they have done on the ground.
What is happening is that the 19 late founder members, for instance, let's take Akende. There's going to be an Akende, Josiah Akende Trust Fund. There's going to be a Bernard Marriott Lusengo Trust Fund, a Morrison Spelani Trust Fund, Jairus Banda Trust Fund, Richard Chiminya Trust Fund. So, as we speak, the families were taken through the lawyer.
Now, these developments seem to have triggered a new wave of wrangles. Another group led by former player Ernest Kamba has since formed its own board. So what does this mean for Dynamos? And is this a reaction to the trust or lack of it that is being created?
Got out that there'd been a meeting about the former Dynamos founder members' families. These other guys thought, we are being left out. So we must try and do something to get involved in this thing.
Okay, we shift to cricket. It's another T20 gig for Sakanda Raza. The Zimbabwe cricket player has signed for Shine Pokor in this year's edition of the Dakar Premier League. Last month, Raza was playing for Khulna Tigers in the Bangladesh Premier League. He is back in the same country and sees this as a chance to sharpen his skills ahead of the World T20 Cup qualifiers slated for July in Zimbabwe.
DPL presents another opportunity. It also presents a new challenge. It also presents an opportunity for me to improve my skills, get better. Certainly one of those tougher conditions where if you can try and take something back home, it always helps you in your international cricket. So yeah, I'm really excited for DPL.
Meanwhile, the domestic T20 competition is set for March 24 to 30 in Harare. Last year's finalist Rocks will be without their talisman Raza, and the all-rounder is gutted to be missing out.
I'm also a little bit gutted to be missing out on the T20s to be with the Rocks. So Rocks is family, Rocks is where my career started, so Rocks is very close to my heart. And to be missing out on a T20 tournament back home, but I thought this opportunity I couldn't let it slip. It's a new challenge for me, it's a new team for me, and I was really looking forward to joining and try and get the job done for them. So yeah, just keep Rocks in your prayer and just keep Shinepur in your prayers as well, please. Thank you very much.
That's all we have for you on ZTN News Blitz this Wednesday afternoon. We're back again tomorrow, same time. You can visit our website, ztn.co.zw, for these and other stories. Up next is World in 5.